Today, the plan is to get this Indian Scout on the street for a first ride. Last time out, we got the bike started, water was in the engine, we dealt with that. But now, I got two things I need to deal with. The seat, and also that front triple. We're missing a chunk out of it. So, let's jump straight to it. The big issue up here is the fact that there's a full chunk of the triple missing. And if you see it, when the wheel's straight, the handlebars are actually crooked. So the plan is, and this is one thing I really like about Indians, I don't know if the Scout is built the same way, but I should be able to take this triple off, and there's a locking nut that locks the lower triple into the frame. So when I take this off, it should not affect any of this. This is more so to keep these aligned with the handlebars and to keep the fork straight. So like I said, what we're gonna do, we're gonna take these out. There's only 2 screws in here. I've already taken one out, the other one's not there, and we're gonna see what we can do. This is the one that was still in the triple. The problem is this one is actually bent. Look at that, see, it's twisted. But we're gonna use this just for this ride. I went to Home Depot or Lowe's, I think, and got this replacement. This is a M8 by 1.25 by 30. So it's 30 millimeters long. Essentially, it's just what we need to make this happen. So what's interesting is that this bolt from Indian is, I believe, $25. I don't know why this one bolt is so expensive. Right, so we're on Indian's site right now. That is the triple right there. That screw is number 4. Okay, we need 2 of those. So we're gonna scroll down, 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go, $24.99, screw. $24.99 for these 2. I don't know what's going on, but yeah, that's just crazy. First thing I'm gonna do is drape this over, because what I'm gonna do is when I take this off, this is gonna sit here. We don't wanna scratch this up. So, I mean, the tank's gonna get repainted, I believe, but still, we don't wanna, you know, do any more damage than needed. So, let's go here. I may have to get extension. Let's see. Hopefully this thing doesn't come crashing and burning. All of these bolts look like they're good, so it's just a matter of getting this off. And what's crazy is I had a Scout, obviously, years ago, and I never, all right, so I took the rod command off. Okay, I don't think this is built the same. Crap. Right, so the speedometer, got that out the way. Once we lift these handlebars up, all of this brake lines, clutch lines are gonna be stretched a little bit, so that's why we're gonna sit them here. But this is the locking nut for the upper triple. Now I got ahead of myself and said, you know, this may not be designed the same, but once I take this off, it'll lift the triple off. And under here, I can't actually see, but there should be a nut that's holding the lower triple to the top of the frame. I'm hoping that's how this is designed. I can go look it up, but I'm pretty sure that's how it is. Woof. I'm trying to do this a very hacky way, but all right, so this is a 30 mil. Slide it on there. Oh, gotta be careful not to touch anything. Probably get in front because the wheel's gonna want to move. Use this as leverage. All right, just like that. And now this off. Get the washer off. Man, I love the way Indian designed this, man. When we take this off, there should be another nut up under here. So what I'm thinking about doing is just There we go. Perfectly planned. Right, so we got the busted up one right here. Taking off this cable management line for, I believe, the clutch line. I'm gonna take that, put it out the way. This brand new, got it direct from Indian, 170 bucks. It does not come with the cable piece right here, the management piece. So we're gonna put that, wait a minute, did I get that off of that side or that side? I think I got it off of this side because it was upside down. One thing I hate about getting these parts direct from Indian, and one thing I like about Harley, is that Indian does not give you the option to get these things unpainted to save a little bit of money, because I plan on having this piece powder coated and it's already in this beautiful thunder black finish. And for me to just strip this off again, you see what I'm saying? So I wish they gave us a, like, just a bare metal or a primed version to save some money by not having the paint. But I imagine it's probably such a small audience of people that want to do that. But, you know, just to save us some money. But let's go ahead and get this thing remounted and see what we got. One thing about putting these forks back on, the upper triple, you got to get the level right. So I'm going to go off of this level right here to get the height where it needs to be. And there's also a little bit of a different grade or a shade right here. See that? That is going to be where the top of the triple needs to sit on this fork to get the height right. So also I guess we could be, because we bottom out on this as well. So we didn't touch any of this. So it should be accurate. But you can see that little spot right there that needs to be refinished. I'm not gonna worry about this. I'm gonna see if I can deal with the rust, but as long as it doesn't, like, there's no leaks or no bends or anything that prevents this stuff from actuating like it's supposed to, it should be fine. But this is definitely just a cosmetic blemish. I'm not gonna worry about that. You see our steering stops right there. They look perfectly fine. So our cable management goes to the front right there. A little bit of stripped metal, but this isn't bent, so that's cool. What I'm gonna do is get this on here. Wait, yeah. Get this on here, then we're gonna hit this bad boy with a hammer. I gotta straighten the wheel up. Oh, you know what? Uh-oh. This may not be as simple as I thought it would be. These aren't lining up. Something's not lined up here. I wonder if this lower triple's bent. Okay, this is not easy like I thought it was gonna be. The problem here is this is lined up, this is lined up, but that is not lined up. So something in this is off. I don't see the stem of the upper triple to be off. So my educated guess, and also I'm looking at the side of these forks. When I line them up right there, look right here. Look right there, and then look up. They're off. So my guess is gonna be the axle. The axle is probably bent. All right, so got one pinch bolt right here. Yeah, I think this axle, I'm starting to see it. I'm hoping this is what it is, because if so, this is a pretty simple fix. Just replace the axle and should be good. All right. Oh, what? It's not the same. All right, now I'm getting a little irritated. So this is a 14. This fits my chief axle, okay? Scout. What, bro? Huh? Why? This is a 5/8. We're going standard to get this thing off. Because Indian wants to make different axle sizes. Let's see if it truly is the axle. I'm hoping it is the axle. This would be a very, very simple diagnosis if this is what it is. Because something's definitely off. Let's see. I don't see it making any weird rotations though. Not yet anyway. In all honesty, I really thought I was gonna get lucky, bro. And this is gonna be easy. That's the axle. I need to check the I don't think this is bent. I can't tell. Yeah, so I do need a tool that can check run out, where you put it on there and you just rotate it. I mean, it's able to check it that way versus trying to do it by eye, but I don't think the axle's bent. I'm gonna check the forks. But I don't see how it would. It could have thrown it off, taking that triple off without aligning it with the bottom. I don't know, because yeah, let me take the forks off. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe I just don't remember. Get these brakes off. Better to break them now. I'm trying to break them when the fork is floating. Yeah, this kind of sucks, man. One of these forks is definitely off somewhere, but you know what? I'm going to lift this up and get this tire off. Something's twisted down here. This wheel is not coming off. Okay. So the fender right here is rubbing against the tire. What's interesting is this was not a problem before, and I wonder it's because I released some pressure on that fork. Spacer down here. Okay. There we go. Whoa. Hit the magnet. Just lay that right there temporarily. Still trying to just figure out what's going on, but looking straight at the forks, look at that left side and then look at that right side. So they're not exactly aligned. So I think just rotating that lower portion may fix that, but still something's off up here somewhere. So the more I look at this, the more I begin to think that the lower triple is also bent. I'm thinking at the top it's probably fine, but in that center, that stem, I think that stem is slightly curved. So we're gonna go ahead and get the forks off, and we're gonna look at this triple. It's not gonna be easy, but looks like I'm gonna need a lower triple. So let's see what we got. I really wanna finish this today to figure out what exactly is bent. I think the axle's fine, but I'm running out of time today. So I think if I get these triples off, no, the forks, we should be able to see what we need to see. But right now, I'm trying to get this fender off. I'm at a race for time right now. You guys get to see me working super fast pace now. Because I want to get the parts ordered tonight. It's Saturday. Parts aren't going to ship out till Monday anyway. I think I'll be able to find a lower triple if that's truly what it is. I'll be able to find a used one on eBay which would help a lot more in one, saving money, but two, not having to deal with, come on, something that's already painted. Well, like fresh paint. I don't mind painting over something that's already been like old and whatnot, but something that's fresh, I don't want to do that. All right, this way. I was not intending on going this deep into this bike. I thought it was going to be an easy fix, but boy, do I kid myself. I trick myself every time, man. Here we go. All right, so I got to hang this by a bungee cord. So, not gonna even disconnect that. It's gonna do it like that. Same thing on the other side. We're still not in the territory of, oh my God, this is like not fixable within a relatively decent time. Just an upper triple, right? But no, it's like your whole like thing is damaged. I gotta do this bike. Okay. Now we're gonna deal with this headlight. I probably should have just dealt with all this. Well, this actually moved all of this. Ooh-wee. Okay. Let's put that on this side. That 15. That 15? Yeah. 15. That side. I'm gonna do the ratchet on this side. My goodness, that was not it's harder than I thought it was gonna be. I might need to anchor the bike down because I'm actually moving it, but I'll get that. Oh wait. Dang! What the? Why is this? I'm actually bending the headlight. What the heck? Okay, you know what? We're gonna take this one off on the bottom. I didn't realize there was one down there. Let's do that. Cause I was trying to take it off from the mount at the top. That ain't working. Wow, it's not working either. What the heck, bro? Okay. We're gonna figure this out. It'll be easier for me to take this thing apart on the bench, figure out what's going on, than trying to, yeah, that thing's on there, man. There's a lot of wiring in here, but I think we'll be okay for now. I am still treating this as if I am going to be doing a first ride on this thing. So that's why I have left all of the handlebar stuff where it's at, even though it is a pain right now to kind of maneuver. Crap, so I may have to disconnect that because it's slapping, scratching it up. Wow, that shot off, okay. Now, all I gotta do is deal with the pinch bolts. We should be able to work these out. There we go. This is the same style clip that's on the rod command for Chief, so set up the pins the right way. I'd imagine you probably could get it to work. Here's the moment of truth. If these forks actually come out without much of a fight. This is actually giving me good practice on taking a Scout apart, I'll tell you that. Because Indian, man, the forks, they're notorious for fighting you, man. They're not very easy to get off. The trick to getting these off, wedge this in here. Anything, pry it like that, and slide. There we go, just like that. Here we go. One down. Well, my friends, after a quick take the fork off the bike, put it on the bench, roll it on the table, the right fork, the upper tube is actually bent. So I'm gonna need an upper fork tube. I'm gonna go ahead and take the other one off. Hopefully it's not bent, but yeah, it's bent. For reference, this is actually an oil or a seal puller, this device, but it just slots in on all of these forks so well, and it allows you to pry. Just a little bit of tension, not a lot, and it just slides right out. I'm hoping that this tube isn't bent, but come on, baby. All right, just like that, no damage. Well, I'm back. I got even better news. The left upper fork tube is bent. They're both bent. Spanner wrench. Get it right in there. Oh, okay. Yeah, typically these aren't that tight. Honestly, knowing that the forks are bent now, I would wager that this lower triple is probably perfectly fine. Oh my goodness. There was so much water trapped in there. Bearing looks fine. Yeah, there's a lot of crud in that lower race, but it looks good, man. It's the freaking forks, they're twisted. See all that orange crud? That's actually rust. That looks to be surface level though. That might be like, actually, you know what? That might be grease. Now you're looking at the lower race for the triple. Yeah, that's like grease that is like, I guess started to degrade from the moisture in the water and everything. But everything in there looks good though. Nothing looks like concerning. What I'll do, I'm gonna tear those forks apart. And the fork compression kit, which is the piece that's bent, because the spring inside, that kind of stuff is probably gonna be okay. I don't know if I can have those fork tubes conditioned or resurfaced or trued. I'm gonna have to take those to a machine shop and just have them looked at. They may be able to put it on there and kind of round it out. I don't know if it's worth it, but each one of these are $175 a piece. So that's $350 that I didn't really account for. The bushings and stuff is probably gonna be okay. Man. Okay. Did a little bit of cleanup. We got the bolts for the top. This is for the speedometer to mount into the upper triple. We also got the 2 screws on both sides put in. We got the nut at the top with the washer. Upper triple mounted to the lower triple. There's the headlight bracket screws, and we got the 2 on this side and then 2 on this side. Just to clean this up, I'm gonna put this out of the way till we figure this stuff out. This is the right fork. You can see the pinch bolt right there. I'm gonna start from the bottom right here. See if I can rotate this. My finger is on the table, not applying too much pressure. You can see as we get further to the top, my finger has that clearance. So I'm gonna do this again. And you can see we got the left fork now. No pinch bolt. Finger at the bottom of the tube. Oh, I'm pushing it away. Let's try that again. So this piece isn't bent, but we are a little lopsided because there's a mount here and there's a mount there. Stick my finger on there. I need a dial indicator. I don't have one, so I'm gonna use this to convey my point. But you can see as I get towards the edge, it gets wider. Starting in there, work my way in with pressure. Yeah, so it's definitely off. Like you can see the bend. Step back, you can see it how it starts kind of here and slowly gravitates up. So, and plus you can see the shadow. Look at the shadow difference. Yeah, both the left and the right fork tubes are bent. The plan is to take these to a machine shop on Monday. It's Saturday. I know 2 machine shops that have helped me in the past. One helped me with the swing arm to snatch the bearings out, and the other made the spacers for the wheels, and they also welded the engine case for me on Purple Chief. So the plan is to take the assembled forks to them and say, hey, I need you guys to true this out. These tubes are bent. This should be able to be done without disassembling the fork tubes. So that's what we're gonna do. Wish me luck. Yeah, so it's Monday, and essentially I came up empty-handed. So I took the forks to 3 different machine shops. They looked at it. Basically nobody wanted to take a chance and even attempt to work on it. My guess is, you know, one shop hydraulic press wasn't working. Maybe they just didn't want the liability of even touching it. And basically they were like, yeah, the metal, so we don't want to like crush the metal because it's thin, because the tube is hollow. Basically what I need done, I need the fork to basically be using a hydraulic press, and as you're pressing, it's going to flatten that tube back out. So you have to go a little bit further because the metal is going to want to bend back naturally to where it was before. So you push it just a little bit past the bend point, and eventually you can get it where it needs to be. But a hydraulic press is the way to do this, and it can be repaired. People have done it. But I also went to a body shop. Nobody wants to touch the thing, so I went to Harbor Freight, looked at hydraulic presses. The hydraulic press there is like $170. But here's the problem with the Harbor Freight press. I got to have a way to mount the fork in the press and be able to balance it somehow and deal with that. And also I got to get a dial indicator. I got to get a mount for the dial indicator. I got to get V-blocks. So there's a few things that I need to get, but I'm also looking at it from the perspective of, am I going to get more use out of that press from Harbor Freight? And the answer is yes, but the plan was to have the forks repaired, do the first rod, and then I was going to tear those forks down anyway because I wanted to powder coat the fork tubes. But I also plan on powder coating my chief fork tubes. So it's like I would get more benefit out of having a complete fork rebuild kit, meaning having the compression tool, the oil seal drivers, and the different things that it takes to rebuild a fork, versus having the shop press that I may use for bearings, but I have a pretty good method of knocking bearings out at this point and also pressing them in pretty reliably. So at this point I'm thinking, am I going to get the benefit of having that press? Because if I also took it to a motorcycle shop, now that I think about it, an independent one, and pretty much, man, a motorcycle shop, motorcycle dealership, they're not in the business of repairing. They want to replace because they get the labor hours, they get the kickback from parts. So at that point, it's just kind of a waste of time. So if I'm going to pay somebody to rebuild a fork, I may as well do that myself. And if I'm going to be, doing a fork, especially if I do a fork rebuild, I'm going to be able to reuse those tools multiple times. So I'm leaning more towards the fork rebuild and just buying the new tubes and just call it, just chalk it up to the game, spend the $350 for the new tubes, and then just say, hey, now I have the tools to do fork rebuilds completely. Because right now I'm just wasting time. Yeah, so I really did not want to not finish this and not do the ride, but I'm holding on. What's really the hard part is, like, I want to rebuild the forks, but it doesn't make sense to rebuild the forks and then come right back and tear them apart and have them powder coated. I don't want to give up on the first ride at this point, but I think it logically makes sense. Unfortunately, that threw a huge curveball in my plan to do this first ride, but my plan was to just tear the bike apart, get the parts I needed to have them powder coated. But I like knowing that the bike is safe to ride, is ride straight and all that before I do that type of stuff. Because if you go and have a frame corrected after the fact, they heat up the frame and then it melts the paint, and of course, possibly it could even melt the powder coat, even though 400 degrees. But yeah, it's gonna be, they melt that steel to like red hot. So imagine the same thing is gonna be for aluminum if the frame is somehow bent somewhere. So I think the chance I'm gonna take is just to go ahead and strip the bike down. My plan was to do a 24-hour challenge of just getting the bike all the way down to where I needed it to be. But now that I've already started, it just doesn't make sense to rebuild the forks twice, especially because if I'm gonna replace those tubes and still have that piece powder coated, it just doesn't make sense. So that's where we're gonna end it. I'm sorry, no first ride this time. I really did not expect that, but good news for you is you don't have to wait to see the next part. You can click right here and see where the heck I go with this bike. But as always, thanks for listening to my story. I hope you understand and learn that these rebuilds don't always go to plan. Anyway, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.